Hey guys, welcome to today's session. How are you all doing? I see Hema, Javed, Amol, Rohit, Naresh, Nihar, Nagendra, and Pankaj. You guys can hear
Hi,
me?
Sachin. Hi, Sachin. Good morning.
Hey Rohit, how are you? All right, good.
Good. Thank you for you.
Good. Okay. I see many of you are actually members of Data Engineering Hub. Only Naresh is not, right? So Naresh, if you can hear me, we'll have our Q&A towards the end. I want to just make sure that I give priority to people who are in the community first. And I know Rohit, you had some questions about data architecture, right? So probably we can start with that.
Sure.
And before that, I want to just hear from others. Hey, Hema, Javed, Pankaj, Nagendra, Amol, and Nihar. What is your intent of being here? I mean, you have any questions, or do you want to just listen into what we're discussing?
Hi, Sachin.
Hey,
Sorry.
Nihar.
Hi. I have an interview lined up in Monday for data architect role,
Okay.
and I was going through the questions. One thing I like to ask is medallion architecture,
Okay.
and we
Yeah.
are
So
using
no, no, yeah.
Databricks.
So no. So let's talk about the questions later. But I want to understand intent. So you have some
Yeah,
questions.
yeah,
We'll talk about
okay.
them.
I
Yeah.
have
Okay.
interview lined up, so thought to just
Okay.
intend this so that I'll get idea of what questions people have the similar line, and just want to get understanding if they ask question on medallion architecture, how to tackle that, right?
Got it. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right. Pankaj says he is here to listen to discussions. That is good. Javed, Amol, Nagendra, and Naresh, if you have anything. Hema also,
Right.
if you.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Am I
Hema. Please
audible?
go ahead. Yes, go ahead, Hema.
Yeah. Yesterday, actually, my friend went through interview in PepsiCo,
Mm-hmm.
and the questions were a little scaring for me. So I said, let me join and ask over here.
Okay.
That's the reason, Sachin. I'll just
Okay.
switch on my camera also. Maybe somebody else can also switch it on.
Yeah. So camera will help actually, guys. I don't like looking into the black boxes. It'll help me if you can. Yes. Good. Thank you, Rohit. If you guys can just turn on the camera, it shows that you are sitting and you are committed and not just walking around and listening on the phone, right? Anyway, so let's start with I think Rohit's question first because he had yeah. Go ahead, Rohit. You are muted. If you can just unmute yourself.
Yeah, sorry for that. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, Sachin, thank you so much for setting up this call for us and to take out your time to answer all of our questions here.
Sure.
Uh, and also, so basically, I would like to give a background about my career path and just a quick glance so that I think it will be easy for you to kind of comment. Like, basically, I'm looking for some kind of inputs wherein how to grow into the data architecture role and those kind of things, right? So, talking about myself, I started my career as a mainframe developer, and then slowly I progressed into data engineering. At first, it was on-premise data engineering with those massive clusters, right? So it was on-premise data engineering. I did that for maybe a couple of years, and then slowly I moved into Azure world. So I have some experience building pipelines in Azure Data Factory using Azure Data Factory, ADLS, and Azure Databricks and stuff. And then slowly I moved into AWS Databricks. So in my previous organization, I was involved in architecting and designing solutions and using AWS Databricks primarily. So the infrastructure part of it, that the AWS part was handled by a separate team, the platform engineering team, who set up all the required access and VPCs and other things for us. And predominantly it was our role was to kind of build the pipelines within Databricks, AWS Databricks. So now I just switched in my organization. So I switched my career job, and then I moved to this new organization. So the initial evaluations and everything happened around Databricks architecture, and also to some extent AWS architecture as well. So I already had a idea about AWS different services because I 2 years back I did some PG program in cloud computing, which is provided by Great Lakes, if you know that. So they covered actually pretty much all of the services. I mean, touched upon, I would say, but not as in depth or practical level as how your course are structured. So I do appreciate that as well, Sachin. So basically, even I couldn't follow many of the weekends, and I recently started going through your deep dives. So actually, it really helps to go and explore each of the services, and that really helps. So my question is like, so as since I in the new organization, even though the evaluations happened around architecture and predominantly Databricks. And now the expectation is that they want me to kind of get into the AWS world as well, kind of architecting the solution there as well. So now I have the basic understanding of how things work and like at least the data engineering side of services, right? Like how can we orchestrate the pipelines and those kind of things. But how do I grow as an architect in this like AWS data engineering world? How do I get into that architecture? I mean, how do I grow in this path? And then what are the other resources that I can depend upon? So I know there are like architectural patterns that are shared in AWS. I think Architecture Central somewhere I think they keep sharing different architectural patterns and stuff. So apart from that, are there any blogs that you can suggest us? And also, yeah, basically how to grow it in this path. What are the things that we need to look out for? And yeah, the cost aspect. I think somebody else also was asking about the cost aspects, right? How to go like how to design cost efficient data architectures, and yeah, and also like for example, some real world projects which we can get our hands dirty with, like kind of do some POCs. If you have some such real world projects, right, that we can implement as POCs from our side. So on these lines basically. So if you can provide your inputs on these aspects,
Okay.
that would be really
Yeah, thank you
helpful.
so much,
Based
Rohit.
on
Yeah.
your experience. Yeah.
Sure,
Thank you.
absolutely. Thank you so much. How much experience you have, Rohit, totally?
I have around 15.5 years experience. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in the past, you have worked on ADF and Azure as an architect, you're saying?
No, that was not architect, senior lead data engineer
Data
level.
engineer, and
Yeah.
then you moved to this organization
Another
where
organization where it was predominantly Databricks. So, I mean, everything was within Databricks, the AWS Databricks. And the AWS part of it was handled by the platform engineering team, wherein they used to do the VPC setup and the required access and role setups and IAM access and role setup and everything. But apart from that, the complete DE pipelines were in Databricks itself.
Okay.
So,
And in this company, again, this is for the previous company or this company currently? In this company,
the current
company?
Yeah, there was a previous company where I talked about the complete DE pipelines
Yes.
set up in Databricks, right?
Yeah.
So now for the current company, I was evaluated based on that and as well as the understanding of AWS services, wherein like I was able to kind of do a designing in AWS as well to some extent. But now their expectation is to kind of they want me to kind of architect solutions in using AWS native services as well.
Okay. So they don't have Databricks currently in your current organization, and they want to design solutions on AWS only. Is that the expectation?
Not like that. So it's a service-based company. So it depends on the situation. Like some clients they are purely in AWS native services. Some are in Databricks. So yeah.
Okay, so you are into a consulting company. Okay, got it. And are you into pre-sales or something of that sort? I'm just wondering.
No, I am not into pre-sales. Yeah, so most of my career I've been with BFSI domain, so banking and finance. So,
okay. Now you just said that you help other clients, right? So you don't really work for one. You're not billable to one client. You're saying is that the case? Or?
No. I mean, it's not that scenario. Like, for example, right now, they want me to focus on this particular client wherein I need to architect a solution for.
Got
So,
it.
right, there's some COE kind of teams where we kind of build yeah.
Okay. 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 All right. First, let me ask you. I mean, you have started going through my deep dive right now, and till what point have you finished?
So I have finished S3 Lambda, Athena, step function, Glue, and I'm yet to go through Redshift, and I think the final one or two modules. Yeah, the EMR and I think Fargate.
And did you also join the live hackathons and have you finished the practicals also?
Yeah. To some, I mean, like I couldn't join the last few sessions, but I am kind of doing those hands-on right now, like along with the deep there, right? So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So in AWS, I mean, in Databricks, I know everything is done within Databricks itself. It is just all in one solution, right? In AWS, we have multiple solutions, right?
Yeah.
So From the data architecture perspective, I think you would be required to kind of provide solutions that are, of course, cost effective for sure, right? I mean, if you're talking about, let's say, S3 storage, for
Right.
sure, they would expect you to kind of, propose, let's say, the fresh data comes into your standard storage class. And then for long term, you'd want to store into Glacier. So that is how you save money, right? That is one way. Now, that is about storage area, right? For the data lake perspective. Um, Now, you would also want to understand the different services for processing. I mean, you have Lambda, you have Glue, you have EMR. You also have ECS Fargate, but that is not much used a lot. So you would want to focus mainly bit, around Lambda, Glue, and EMR. Now,
Yep.
as an architect, I mean, you could probably propose saying that, okay, for ETL, we should not be doing Lambda at all because Lambda has a timeout, right? These are the subtle
Right.
things that you would want to, propose. Or they would expect you to know about this and then propose this. So you'd be expected to come up with a patterns essentially, right? For this much data, you can go with Lambda. For this much data, you can probably go with, let's say, Glue. And for this much, you would want to go with EMR. Okay. Now, in most cases, Glue would suffice. In EMR, generally is for extremely big data, and when I always say when companies start, they always go with Glue, and Glue finally they find it expensive, and then they move to when they have sufficient number of workflows, they move over to EMR,
Yep.
right? Now, when it comes to even Glue, your focus would be to kind of propose uh, the right sizing of the Glue jobs, right? You have
Correct.
G1,
Yeah.
G1, G2, G3, G4, and even you have even more in fact now. Uh, so a solution where you kind of say that uh, you go with either, I mean, start with again this decision to either choose one of them and then number of them and finding out how much it costs is used to be very hard before, but now it's frankly it's very easy. Okay. And in your company, do they allow you Amazon Q?
Amazon Q, I mean, I'm just starting out this. I haven't tried it actually, so I'm
Okay.
not sure. Yeah.
Okay. Amazon, this will be your assistant, okay, for anything
Okay.
architectural, anything development also. I'll show that to you shortly now.
Okay.
All right, let me open that here. So first thing is you got to let me share my screen. So this is Visual Code. Install this on your Windows or Mac, whatever you have.
Yeah,
And
I do
you,
have.
you have an extension here, Amazon Q extension. You can always go and uh, Amazon Q are already installed here in my case. So install the Amazon Q, and then there is if you just Google or go to YouTube and search for this video on how to get Amazon Q on VS Code. There's a very good video by Fahad Mirza, FHAD Mirza. Okay.
Okay.
So follow that, you'll be able to set this up. You have to create a builder profile for free of cost. Okay. Um, Even free will work for you because you're not really trying to create code right now. Okay. So let's say,
Yeah.
okay, I have to decide between G1X and 4 workers and G3X and 2, let's say G4X, 1 worker. How do I go about deciding that I am an AWS data architect? So it's actually going to actually compare the cost and will let you know, right? So
Yep.
this used to be difficult manual before. Now it's pretty simple as such. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
get the point, right?
Okay.
So
So you mean to say
huh?
that in such cases, Amazon Q is more reliable compared to ChatGPT or
Oh
Perplexity or
yes,
any of the.
Amazon
Yeah.
Q is uh, trained on the Amazon's
These,
documentation. ChatGPT is very generic. I mean,
got
the
it.
quality
Got it. Yeah.
quality is 1:1,000. I would say 1,000% better than in Amazon Q. Okay,
Got it.
so from the glue perspective, yeah, this is what you would do, and then even when you go with EMR, right? EMR, first of all, would you want to go with EMR? That's a big question, right? Uh, and that you can decide when you, let's say, you will have to kind of, whoever is the client is, right? Assume that they are migrating from an on-prem tool, DataStage or Ab Initio, to AWS. So they have the number of workflows, or even big data as workflows also, right? I mean, if they already have Apache Spark workflows, number of jobs they have, and the amount of data you have. So depending on that, there are two different use cases, right? One is about, let's say, talk about the ETL, another is big data. For ETL, depending on number of jobs you have, you would want to decide if you kind of convert these to so many glue workflows, how much would it cost? If you go with same thing with EMR, how much would it cost? So that is where you would be involved in and expected from your side as such.
Yeah.
And from the big data perspective, yeah. So, I mean, if you already have a big data cluster on premise, initially you may propose going for, see, it all depends on the timeline, right? If the company has a strict timeline to go to cloud, then you may propose lift and shift. Okay, you just create a EMR cluster of the same size as on-premise cluster, and then get the jobs running on cloud first. Later, I mean, as if you have gone through my EMR hackathon, there we discussed that every job actually spins up its own cluster, because you're able to control the cost, you're able to know how much it costs. So, and when you go at that level, your knowledge about Spark becomes more essential as such. You would want to know what kind of node you want to choose, with how much memory, how much CPU, and how many nodes in the cluster, right? So at that level, you'll be required from the, at least from the processing perspective. Okay, so what I also seen is that in some companies, they don't really allow glue because it's expensive. So, and Lambda, it runs hardly 15 minutes. So what is the solution?
Yeah.
Solution is to go with Docker-based solution, ECS Fargate, right? So these are the minor things that you would be expected to know as a data architect, right? So you can try to focus on solutioning, right? Keeping cost in mind, and not just this, right? They probably might expect you to know about even the security aspects also of data. So whether do you want to go with, let's say, in S3 there are multiple security options, right? You can go with S3 basic S3 encryption. You can go with at to the highest level you have customer managed keys, right, which are more expensive. Now, in my deep dive, I say that if data is public, you can go with generic S3, right? Generic S3 encryption. If it is confidential, go with your customer managed keys, where in the managed keys you have ability to rotate the keys for encryption also. Okay. So storage, encryption, cost perspective, and then from the okay, let me just stop. Are you able to get what I'm saying, or is it too much of an overload?
No, I'm getting it, Sajid. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Okay.
So I am also more like looking forward to some kind of, like, if you have some kind of blogs or somewhere where we can kind of architect solutions, like basically some real world scenarios.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
yeah,
But whatever I just said, it made sense
yes,
to you? Okay.
yes. So far it's
Okay.
fine. Yeah.
Okay. Let me also complete the discussion with, saying, talking about the sync, your target, right? I mean, you would be expected to kind of, propose whether to go with Redshift, or let's say to go with Snowflake. I don't know about Snowflake, so I can't talk about that, but maybe if you're an architect, probably they might ask
Yeah,
you to kind of do the evaluation of Snowflake as well. Because AWS and Snowflake goes well. In fact,
well,
they are
yes,
two good combinations. So cost perspective between Redshift and Snowflake, and then also about whether to go with data warehouse or a lake house, right? Dep-
Lakehouse. Yeah,
Depending on the amount of data you have, And depending on what the client,
Because
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, now I think, sorry for cutting you out. So basically, I think nowadays the organizations are like kind of adopting AI, right? So the Lakehouse platforms like Databricks, they have AI capability inbuilt, and I think most of the I mean clients, they prefer that if they want AI workloads to also run, I guess. So those are some things
Okay.
I think some clients consider, because Snowflake doesn't offer AI as of now, I guess, like within their platform. So we have to rely on
No,
AI
I
services
think
separately.
Snowflake also has a AI component. I heard recently.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Sachin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is there. Cortex
Okay.
is AI
Cortex,
component there.
yes, Cortex, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, the question would be whether to go with a lakehouse or data warehouse, right? I mean, depending on the client, whether uh, who's the consumer? I mean, the consumer is what? I mean, are they just data analysts who are comfortable with SQL, or also are they also data scientists, who are comfortable with, using Spark ML for doing using ML lib
Yeah.
to do machine learning, right? So if that is the case, I mean, if your end consumers are also your data scientists and folks, then you would want to probably think of going with data lakehouse, where you kind of maintain data, where you go with the medallion architecture, right? I mean, this is where Nihar, you can also listen in, where data comes into your bronze layer, the raw data as is, and then you kind of move the transform data into a silver. From silver, you move to the gold layer. In gold, you can have your aggregated data, right? And your data scientists would be able to kind of access the gold as well as silver for their data science, right? So, uh, Lakehouse is a lot more cheaper than going with Redshift. Okay, anytime is
Yes.
because so that is one use case. Um, and even to go with Lakehouse, you have multiple options now. You have Delta Lake, which people use on Databricks. You also have Apache Hudi and Iceberg. With AWS, Iceberg is preferred. Okay. Now that's about your kind of data lake, your processing, and your sync as such. Okay. Now for orchestration, you have two options in AWS, right? You have step function, you have Airflow.
Airflow.
Airflow, right? So step function is good. Airflow is a lot more features for the best in the industry. If you think about the cost, step function might be cheaper. I mean, there's really no yes black and white answer about which is cheaper, because depending on there is no straightforward answer. Okay. Um, Step function is actually, what do you say? It is serverless. Airflow is managed. Okay. So this is also one decision you want to take as a data architect. Okay. Now you're asking me about blogs. You said.
Yeah. Any kind of real world scenarios wherein like we can kind of architect and then design some solution and then cross check if what we have done is correct. Like where we need to improve, those kind of things. Like based on your experience, if any such sort of uh, blogs or any sites or YouTube channels are available.
Okay. All right. Let me just get here.
And on some casual note, right? So I tried to search you on TopMate. So like, is there a like I couldn't find a
I
like
don't
option to
do.
book a. Okay,
Yeah, I
okay,
don't do
okay,
one-to-ones, because my hourly
okay,
rate is very expensive. It is, yeah,
okay,
right. Yeah,
okay, got it. Yeah,
yeah. Okay. All right. So your question was also about the AI, correct? AI, right? So you are saying that the companies would want to go with Databricks because they have inbuilt AI. AWS
yeah,
also has AI. AWS Bedrock is the one. And I recently
mm,
finished AI practitioner, and one of the best courses, I would say. AWS is also the only advantage with Databricks is that everything is in one place. But AWS also has amazing features, a lot more customizable. You can do if you have learned about AI, you can train the AWS AI on your custom data, the company's data as such, and you can build your, like how Amazon Q is trained on the Amazon's documentation. Your clients could have their data trained on their own data, and it can do all of this in Amazon and
Bedrock.
not just that, you have a lot of other use cases in AWS. Just do the AI practitioner, you will come to know many solutions. You have chatbot, you have text to, it can summarize the text. A lot of things you have in AWS as far as AI is concerned. Okay. That is it. And then you're asking about the blocks. Blocks are the courses. Let me show you about the workshop first. Shops. Okay. So let's say you want to learn about how Iceberg can be implemented quickly, implemented in on AWS. Let me share my screen now. Okay, so you can just Google simply Iceberg AWS workshop, and you have multiple workshops here, free of cost. Documentation free of cost. Yes, I mean it has instruction on how to even practically you can do things step by step here. In fact, okay, and yeah, I've done this multiple times, and they're extremely good. Okay, for any and every service, you will be able to get a workshop. Okay, let's say.
So what is the difference between this workshop and the free version? I mean, free version that we set up, right? Like we created an account and we did all
Oh no! When
um,
I say no,
the
when I say
POCs.
no. When I say workshop, the documentation is free. You will do it on your own.
Okay,
You
got
will
it, got
not
it. Yeah,
do it on their account. You'll do it on
got
your
it,
own
got it.
account, but
Okay,
instructions are right here. In fact,
okay,
okay,
got it,
including data sets here.
got it.
Okay. And as far as blogs are concerned, the best place is to kind of go big data blogs.
Okay,
But you'll have to search through, right? Which one is the right one and all of that.
okay,
Uh, so you get the point. So let's say, and yeah, and these are, in fact, I always say that these are written by people from Amazon Web Services, professional services people. I mean, they kind of work with, AWS has data labs, right? And they work with the clients and together and then propose solution. And their learnings, they kind of see, look at this, Medidata's journey to modern Lakehouse architecture, a recent one, in fact. And
yeah,
you have multiple architectures, what they did all of that. So, right, Flink, all of that. So you can go through this. These are different blogs, but you may also come across some practical blogs also here where they give you cloud formation template and they'll tell you exactly what to do, how to implement on your own as such. Okay. So this is one of the
okay,
best ways. But if you really want to search through, what I would say is just go to Perplexity. Perplexity is one of the best ones for researching anything. If you are in India, you already have free access. If you have Airtel for 1 year, it is worth 17,000 rupees. Get that. And in the US, if you have PayPal, you'll get it for free. Okay. So I want to, and you have many models here. Okay, I will just use the best one. In fact, best model. So I want to look AWS blog, which talk about real time or real world. Let's say what it says. Okay. Yeah. So multiple you get it here. So this is how you do. And if you really want to build your own, there is no. So I mean, you can go through workshops. That is one way. If you want to
okay,
get it done quickly. Otherwise, what I am doing currently, I'm building my own projects for the Diamond membership. I'm creating launching in next year. Where yeah. So I am building my own lake house, building my own data warehouse, everything. So uh, to tell you the time it takes. If you are sound in AWS, it might take about 2-3 weeks probably to build do your own POC yourself.
great, okay.
Okay. I hope any other question, Rohit, if I have
Yeah,
not
I
covered.
think that answers Sachin, yeah, to some extent. So yeah, I think I already took half an hour of your time. So yeah, thank you so much, Sachin, for all your inputs. I just had one, since we all are here, right? I had one
Mm.
more like query regarding, because I am planning to take this AWS Data Engineer Associate certification maybe 2-3 months down the line. And I see Nihar also in the call. Maybe if you have some time, if you could share. I think Nihar completed the one recently,
Yeah,
right,
yeah, I
last week,
did
if I'm
last
not.
week. Yes.
So if you could share with us like your experience and how you prepared for it. I mean, like
Yeah,
at the end of the
Sachin
call
shared
after.
some of
Yeah,
the material. I'll forward, and also I
sure.
watched 2 videos from. Went through the Sachin content and
Okay,
enrolled one Udemy. I'll forward those details, and also
sure,
looked
sure.
at
It'll
some
be
of the
great.
questions from ChatGPT and Prexby. Prepare a
Okay,
question bank maybe, and it was.
okay.
Questions, some of them are very tough. Like I was never hearing, but I
Yeah,
just guess and put it. But some, like I first
yeah,
time
tough.
hear those. But S-related questions are able to tackle it, like versioning or those things. But I'll
Yeah,
share with you.
yeah. If you could share with those materials, that would be really
Yeah,
great,
yeah,
helpful. Yeah,
yeah. It's
thank you so
tough,
much.
very tough, and just I'm seriously looking job, so I just spend lot of
Yeah,
time to crack through. So
It
and
is
then
tough. Okay,
finally.
I know.
I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
unsure I'll clear it, but luckily
so you're
got it.
already from AWS background, or
Uh,
you're just moving
um,
into?
Actually, I'm from legacy system, right? Mostly I
Legacy.
worked in
Okay,
Oracle PL SQL, but I completed the Sachin's course and as well as 3 more trainer, right? I have bad habit
okay,
of doing the
okay.
courses, not applying it. But
Same.
finally it's a
Yeah,
time to apply. So there is no go now because I'm finishing my contract. So I need
yeah.
to switch, and so that's
Okay,
the reason I'm planning to do one. Next, I'm planning to attend the Snowflake one. So
okay.
another one. But I'll definitely share the details with you.
Sure. Yeah, thanks
Yeah,
a lot. Thank you,
and I want to
Nihar.
share.
Thank you, Sachin.
I want to add a few more things here, right? So one is, yeah. So my course will help you, as I said in the previous last week also in the video, that my course will help you cover 60-70% of what is covered in the certification. But beyond that, there are certain things which are, of course, which we rarely use in the industry for migration stuff, and also that I have not covered. So that you'll have to cover yourself. And Stephen Marek's course is good on Udemy, but it is just too extensive. It takes time to go through
Extensive.
it.
Yeah, even I have subscribed to that.
Oh
So
man, that's too much.
yeah.
I didn't do that. There's a guy called as Ashish Prajapati. Just Google that on Udemy. So
Okay.
I did. I just I have Udemy from my company, so I was able to go through his course and I look at relevant things which I had not covered myself, and I had to brush up my own knowledge. So I just did those for 4-5 hours, and I went, and luckily I also cracked. But people have used in the community have used this resource, uh, and they have said that uh, this is a good one. Before your exam, just go here and do it, is what they say. I've not used this, but don't depend on this alone, right? You will not really learn much if you just depend on this alone. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, this is about it. So, all right. All right. Anything
Thank
else,
you.
Rohit? All good?
That's all from my side. Yeah. Thank
Awesome.
you, Sachin.
Thank you, Rohit. Yeah.
Thank you.
Nia, please go ahead.
Yeah, just wanted to. I'm just trying to do now. Going through the one of the Databricks content from one question from AWS: how we can launch the Databricks? We can do
Oh,
the
launch.
Databricks. Sorry,
No, sorry, go ahead.
in the AWS service, can we launch the Databricks?
From what I know, you have to launch it from Databricks, I think.
Not
I don't,
directly.
yeah, I don't, let me confirm that.
Because
I'm not seeing this
Azure
myself.
have the platform, right? There is in Azure you
Oh,
can get
yes.
in. But I was thinking, is there any way or either maybe I don't know, trying to uh, check that part.
I think with the Airflow we can orchestrate it. If I'm not wrong, like AWS can talk. I mean, for example, if one pipeline completes in AWS, it can signal Airflow, and Airflow can in turn signal the Databricks workflow job. So I mean that complete orchestration has to be done by Airflow, I think, if I'm not wrong, because step function will not have access to that Databricks setup, I believe. So So if
That
that kind
yeah,
of
that's a possibility. I'm pretty sure. But so your question here was that how can we launch Databricks instance
Service,
immediately?
right? Yeah. In Azure, if you go to the Azure
Yeah, I
portal,
know.
you can directly there is a Databricks service, right? It's similar to the what we have the Databricks
Yeah,
service directly to,
yeah.
but I'm not able to see such things
No,
in
we
the
don't have it. No, we don't have it in
tools.
AWS. You have to launch it from I think Databricks portal and then integrate with
Yeah.
AWS. I think that's how
Okay.
it is. Yeah.
And
Um.
another thing, Sachin, is it possible to explain with one practical example with the Medallion architecture?
Yeah.
Why
Then.
we are using and what's the practical outcome? From my
Okay.
research, what I'm able to understand, we have the three layer, right? Basically three data warehouse structure: bronze, silver, and gold. And each layer of data, we are kind of cleansing it, and the gold data is the quite the enriched data, which is used by the machine learning and or maybe data analytics side, right? But why we are staging three different? What's the benefit out of it?
Okay. Take a look at this document here. Okay. So I'll quickly explain this in the next 10 minutes. So traditionally in data warehouse, what happens? I mean, you have the staging tables, right? And then you have the dimension tables, fact tables. I hope you
Yeah,
are
we
aware
have
of them,
same structure at the moment in our plugin warehouse.
right? Yeah, you have dimension fact tables, correct?
Yeah.
So, and then you have a star schema. There's a star schema, a dimension fact table. So that's what happens in traditional data warehousing. So you have raw data coming in, you load into the stage first. From stage, you kind of, maybe when you're loading into stage, let's say, you will probably cleanse that and load into stage. From stage, you move to dimension tables. When it comes to a lake house, okay, so you have bronze, silver, and gold here. So in the bronze data, you just get as is from source. The source team is responsible for sending data to you. I mean, they will extract data. It could be in any format. Okay. First of all, this in you
That's equivalent. That's equivalent to staging, right? As it is, we are storing in the bronze
now,
without much.
the difference here is that in data warehouse, you have tables. It's a structured thing. Whereas in Lakehouse, you can just dump anything. You can literally dump anything, right? So even logs or whatever. So you just bring in here, and it could have some issues. I mean, null values or whatever. So all dirty data. So when you're moving from bronze to silver is where you cleanse it. Okay, where you cleanse or you kind of essentially you cleanse it. Okay, removing the spaces or converting, let's say, the string date timestamp to a proper date time data type. Okay, so and then from here you kind of move to gold layer. Okay, gold is where you maintain the aggregated layer. I mean, so this much is clear, right? Let me go ahead now. Okay. Uh, so and I was telling to Rohit before, right, that you go with the lakehouse because you also have use case with uh, data scientist people, and they also want to access data. So they will access the data in silver layer and gold layer for their if required in
actually,
bronze also for their.
yeah, if I can pitch in, right? So in my previous organization where we were totally on Databricks, so we used to have a staging layer also where the like whatever landing zone or something, right? So where like the data as we get it right, we keep it there. From there, we take it to the bronze layer and have all this data quality checks, which Sachin mentioned, right? And then in the silver layer, we'll do the further enrichment and transformation as per the business logic. And then in the gold layer, the final aggregation happens and we kind of do the dimensional modeling there. Like if it is eligible for, the data is eligible for dimensional modeling, like with the dimension facts and dimensions, right? So that kind of modeling we do in the gold layer. And then we still can have one more layer kind of aggregated table that we can expose it to Tableau
Five
dashboard.
layers.
Yeah. So
Five
because
layers.
that, yeah, final layer. So kind of otherwise dimensional modeling, like we'll have dimension fact, which needs to be joined every time we need to kind of derive some kind of insights from it. So for dashboards and everything, we need to have another aggregated final table out of this, which goes into a dashboard. So that actually improves the
But
performance. So that is the flow that we have.
thanks, Rohit. Thanks, Sachin. Just a fundamental question. Why that can be done in a single staging, like that can be done within the silver? Why we need a gold in that case?
Yeah. So it depends. I would say, I mean, it depends on the company, right? What architecture decision, right? So this is the typical structure, but I mean, companies can modify their own architecture, right? So When you're moving from bronze to silver, yes, we'll also be applying the business logic also in silver as such. Okay. And here I've kept it simple. I've not used dimensional, but yes, you can also have dimensional model here as well, dimensional facts. And what Rohit was saying is that on top of that, to expose to the dashboards, the Tableau and the report, you
Dashboards.
can have
Yeah.
another layer,
Looks like
maybe diamond layer, right? Okay. So
in
So
terms
actually,
of
not all. This is a kind of a best practice which Databricks suggests, like Medallion architecture. But not necessarily that it's not necessary that we need to follow this.
oh yeah,
Like
absolutely.
as Sachin mentioned, yeah, we can skip one layer. I mean, it depends on
in terms
our
of
use
cost
case.
and
Yeah.
anything, just we are segregating the different zone of
Yes.
it, right? There is no any such any cost associated with this, right? No.
Okay. Take a look at this particular image here, right? So there are some additional things. Yes. So in bronze, you are supposed to maintain all the data. Okay. You are not supposed to delete the data from bronze. So whatever data you get there, you just maintain there in the bronze folder, bronze layer as such. Okay. And once you load there, it is immutable. You can't change it, right? It's append only. Okay. Um, so why do we have to maintain there always? Because let's say data engineers have built their pipelines from bronze, silver to gold, and the logic was initially given by the data analysts or business analysts was incorrect. And now they are saying, okay, change the logic now. So now you already have data in bronze because you didn't delete them. You're able to rebuild silver and gold. So that's why we never really delete data in bronze as such. Okay, and then silver is where we again, as Rohit was mentioning, right? So every company has its own way of doing things. But typically, this is what it is done, where in silver, you do an upsert. In a sense, you try to maintain it, insert else update, right? 100 records you have from source, and every day you get it. And this maintains the latest, I would say, state of what it is in source, right? It's an upsert operation. Whatever is there in source at that point of time, you'll see it in silver, okay? And this is where you need Iceberg tables to do that, to do upsert. And finally, in gold, you'll have aggregate metrics, right? So that's how it's going to be. And with the help, when you go with Lakehouse in the Medallion Architecture, when you go with Lakehouse, right? Because you're using Iceberg or Delta Lake or Hudi, you are also able to do some time travel, right? If you like how you do in data warehouse also. In data warehouse also, we can build snapshots or temporal tables where you can go back and look at what happened in that point of time in, let's say, a month before or so, right? If you have to kind of uh, give the information for auditing as such, if you have any legal requirement as such. So in Iceberg or Hudi, or even you're able to go back and look at what happened. Okay. So it maintains a snapshot for every operation, every insert, every delete, update. It will maintain a snapshot. That is the benefit of a lake house as such on Medallion architecture. I hope this is helpful. Is that clear, Nihar, or any
Yeah,
question? Let me know.
yes. Just another question.
Yeah.
This data movement, right, between
Mhm.
the different layer, that's
Mhm.
taken care by the internal job, or how we do basically that part.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So this you have to build, right? So now if you see, okay. So first thing from bronze, you'll get data here, right? So and I always say that the onus of sending the data is lies with the source team in that, typically in the cloud world. Mostly that is what it is. But yes, I mean, if you are not following that, then you would also want to connect to the source and bring data into raw layer. Yeah, or store data exactly as received. Now, how does the movement happen? The clean validation deduplicate. When you move from the bronze to silver layer, in silver you have two different again folders here. One is the cleaned file, and also maybe also your business logics also here, a bit of logic. So here it's in Parquet, okay, and as a Parquet, it is you're like creating a hive-like table. No, hive-like table. Parquet is where you don't have the ability to insert update, okay. Uh, on top of this Parquet tables, you build Iceberg tables. So all of this happens in glue jobs. Either you'd use Spark, or you can also use Athena for this. Okay, glue Spark or Athena for this. And then from Iceberg, you can build the aggregated tables here that you can do again in Athena itself. Okay, because you are now able to fire SQL queries on the Iceberg tables. you can do aggregations and build your aggregated data in Athena. But in Athena, it's just a query engine. So you orchestrate that with the help of Glue Python jobs. So I'm covering all of this in my, next year course. In fact, we'll have a full-fledged end-to-end project. In fact, okay. Yeah. But is that very too much to kind of grasp now?
Yeah, it's high level. Yeah, it's for now. It's I can able to cover up like in a high level. I can just do some bit more research and note down the point. Thanks a lot, Sachin. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah. So this is course, right? So we kind of understand and build end to end. That is what it has come to in my Diamond level course, in fact, which I'm launching next year. So we'll see. But yeah, I would say with this understanding, go to your Perplexity or any AI, ask the right questions, and you'll be able to really understand whatever gaps you have, right? So see, this is why you need to use AI, right? So you are from the PL/SQL background and you have certain understanding. Okay, now you got some understanding based on what I said. So from that point onwards to this, you have some gap over there. That gap AI can fill. Ask the right questions.
Sure. Okay. Thanks, Sachin. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Awesome. Good. I have some other people here. Naga, Wasim, Sita, new people. Sita. You guys just joined a bit late. So I was. Are you guys can you hear me, guys? Sita, Sudhakar, Wasim, Naga.
Yeah.
Say something or just.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So want to ask people here. Okay, are you all members of Data Engineering Hub currently, or you are not yet?
Already we are part of.
Okay. The course, is it?
Yes.
Okay. How about Wasim and Sita and Sudhakar?
I'm also part of the course.
Okay.
Yes, Sudhakar, I'm part of
I am
course.
also part of the course. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So yeah, go ahead.
I have just started it as part of the course and just have a couple of classes just completed.
Okay, Amol, good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So yeah, so this session, we connect and anybody has any question, right? So I kind of host a session on Saturday evening India time, 1 hour session where we can just discuss all of us and then all of us can get benefited. So I hope you are all going through the courses and then make sure you stay on track because the course is big. And any questions you have on the course, I had shared a video on how to kind of navigate the UI, right? The Data Engineering Hub UI, the course, all of that. Any questions on that part? Have you got the video from my team? Amol and
Yes, we got it.
okay, good. So go to that video and then please, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We are gonna have a session like this and discuss things. Okay. Yes, Javed, go ahead, Javed. Yes, what's up?
Yeah, hi Sachin.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Yeah, Sachin, so actually my question is that in data engineering domain, what is the SLA and the KPIs? Because I'm not in the those domains. So just I want to know that.
Okay. So SLA in terms of job completion?
Okay.
Is that the question?
So
SLA in terms of job completion time you're asking? What do you mean by SLA?
Yeah, job completion as well as the KPIs. When I was in a non-IT profile, so my KPIs like quality, production, this way KPIs. So what is the KPI in data engineering domain? If I work in particular batch streaming processing or like a data warehouse processing. So just I need ideas so I can say that yes, this is the KPI because one of the call I received that she's asking KPIs and SLA regarding in the domain if I'm working.
Okay. All right. Good. So I would also ask others to chime in, but let me just give you my thoughts. Okay. And others are also here, Rohit and Hema, others with more experience they can share, even Nihar as well, and Pankaj as well. So from what I understand, right, what I can tell you, see, in data engineering, as a data engineer, your data quality is going to be essential. Okay, so whatever you're loading into the end tables which consumers are consuming, they should be able to. I mean, you got to satisfy them, right? I mean, the expectation is that whatever data comes into source, it flows through the various layers where you transform the data, which you have done in Lambda and all of that, and then loads into your target tables.
Yeah.
The end consumer is expecting data to kind of which actually satisfies the business logic which they have given. Let's say you have got 100 columns from source, and let's say simple example, right? First name, last name, and the end consumer is expecting full name, so you got to concatenate them and send it over there. Simple example.
Okay.
So if he doesn't get that, then there is no point, right? So as a data engineer, our whole and sole intention should be to meet the consumer's requirement. Okay, or at the same time meeting the data quality things, right? I mean, well, data quality generally is defined or taken care when you go with RDBMS or databases which actually have those properties where you don't really insert duplicate data over there, right? The tables themselves have primary keys, so they don't allow you. So these are basic things: no duplicates, cleaned data, data that meets the requirements of users. And as far as the SLA is concerned, yes, I mean, let's say your reporting team needs to kind of run their reports by 4 a.m. in the morning. And generally, I'll tell you 90% of more than that, in fact, of data engineering jobs run nightly, right? Let's say if you are supporting a US client and during the day, the US business, runs and then data gets accumulated in their databases. That data we need to process nightly, right? And then so by morning 4 a.m. the reports are automated. So the whole process from the source to processing to the target you're putting in data warehouse, it should be done before 4 a.m. That is the SLA, right? That is for batch processing. I wouldn't, I mean, since you are not from the data engineering background, I wouldn't really advise you to talk about streaming also, because streaming is a lot more complex. There are more requirements. So for you, I will say stick to, and this is good enough for batch processing. Okay. Is this helpful, Javed? I will also ask others to kind of chime in their thoughts also, but
I think Sachin, you covered on data quality, and even one thing which I faced is like, for example, if there are some clients expecting some dashboard reports to be refreshed by so and so time, so that can be kind of an SLA. Like, for example, if the business is a stakeholder, end users or stakeholders are expecting for a certain report on daily basis and by so and so EST hours, so that is when the SLAs come into picture, apart from other deliveries, right? So there can be upstream, downstream systems where we deliver the data to, and they will also expect, and there will be some kind of alignment with them that we will be sharing these files by so and so time. So that is another type of SLA within internal or external teams, and then the dashboards, as I mentioned. So I think these are some of the things that I faced in the past. Yeah.
perfect, perfect. Yes, thank you for adding this. We also have, yes, I mean, you also have downstream, not just the
Yeah.
data warehouses, but you will also have other kind of data engineering jobs where you're creating data for a downstream system, and they would also expect data by that time. In fact, yes, we'll have a SLA for that also.
Yeah, can I pitch in? Am I audible?
Yes, please, but yeah, please
In
go
my
ahead.
company, I'm working for Deutsche Bank. So here the data is, first of all, the data is day -1. We do not have data. Financial companies do not have, or most PayPal, Morgan Stanley, and then even Deutsche Bank, we do not have data as of today. It is always data -1. So, for example, in PayPal, every day night, 12 p.m. 12 p.m. PST. In the morning, early morning, in our daytime, 5 hours, the entire world data comes into the Chennai, the data comes in, then it takes processing. So it takes some around 2.5 billion data comes in every day. So when you say SLA and all, the data has to come. You cannot do anything. SLA comes into picture when, as you say, morning 4 o'clock. Now, in my current company, what happens? The data comes in the night. Early morning, all the 7 o'clock, all the data comes in, pitches in, and by 9 o'clock, the processing starts. 10 o'clock, all the finance teams has their data. So that is called SLA comes at the time. It doesn't not if that for example in Morgan Stanley they have 5 a.m. morning 5 a.m. they have only data which is what is that important, like whatever important ones jobs will be run. So whenever we used to go and raise a request, they used to ask, if is it a important job or is it a general one? If it is an important one, you need all the approvals and all, and then you go ahead. So here, their SLA doesn't work. It is like you have to decide. And after 3 hours of their that processing, and in that time, nobody can enter, do some query in production also. If one person did it and he had to be fired also because it stopped all their jobs in this. So they are very careful in the finance companies and all. So that way, if whoever is talking about it, you need to know what happens in a company, how much, what time the processing happens, and what time the data comes. After the data, now in a company, after the data comes, 11 o'clock, they'll say, okay, yesterday data came in and this is the issue. So it comes to us. We go and check whether there's a job got failed or there's a processing issue or there's a data issue. Then it comes to us and then we go ahead. Till it comes after it comes to us. Not for all this big jobs which happens overnight. That it doesn't work like that. It is only for somebody like 2 days back, that person came and said, I compared this data and there's a difference. I didn't get time, so now Monday I'll do the work and Tuesday I'll give it. So there the SLA work. And also one more thing, in every company as a developer, what happens is we have a 15-day to develop our code. I don't know whether it works in other companies or no, but for me, to develop that code, I have 15 days. The data has to move into the next environment, test it in your development, do the build, and then move it to the next environment. It takes 15 days. You have time. Then 1 week you have time to the first level of testing, and then you have the UAT, and then it goes to prod. So these are the questions you can expect from the company, like how many days you do it. That time this SLA works. That's what I want to tell. What is the real-time scenarios?
Yes, amazing. Thank you so much, Hema. That was very good.
Thank you, Emma.
Pankaj, go ahead.
Yeah.
Hey Sachin, how are you?
Good, how are you? Long time. Yeah.
Yeah, been a long time. So Sachin, I had one question for this new course, what you're bringing in. During the hands-on sessions, you had mentioned like you have been working on some AI related projects as well, right? So, like, could you just on the high level just touched on like what is your experience and can we expect any modules like you're bringing in Spark, right? So maybe in the Glow jobs or maybe in the EMR if you have used and how in the scope of data engineering, how AI you're leveraging, like are you doing prompts or like what models being used and how much of AI is needed for the data engineer, like how for the AWS we are doing, right? The services.
Okay. Okay. No. So okay, there may have been some confusion, I believe. I don't do AI related stuff currently, and I'm not including AI related stuff as such. When I say AI, I'm using AI for my work. When I say for work, what I do is we have Amazon Q in a company. So essentially, entire coding has become extremely easy now. Okay? Be it Glue Spark, be it Python, or whatever it is. The amount of time it would take in the past, used to be probably a week. I would say that has now come down to probably a day now to build a job and test. Okay, so Amazon Q is so powerful, and that I plan to include in my new course where I want to teach people how to use Amazon Q for the building their pipelines. It is you get the power, right? If anybody doesn't know how to code, they can easily do it, right? I mean, you only have to just learn the basics. You are from Python, you already know Python, but imagine Java is there, he may not know Python. So just by learning 2-3 weeks of Python, you're able to build your entire Spark based pipeline or Python. That is what the kind of power Amazon Q gives you, and that I'll be including in my course. I don't really do any AI stuffs in my current company also currently. Yes, there are some use cases and stuff going on in the company. We will see if I come across, if I'm involved, definitely I'll include that.
Oh, okay, sure, sure. One more thing, right, Sachin, I was thinking, what I have seen here is that some related to finance, they are working on the projects, but they don't expect this knowledge from everyone. So they are ready to give the KT or information about the task, and they just ask to do the task, whatever the requirement is to complete. So I was wondering, in the data engineering, how how much important is the domain knowledge, and how much should we focus again in the finance or the healthcare if someone is doing, or at least in the sales if you
Yeah.
pick up. I think you whatever the examples you have taken in the course, right, deep dive and the hands-on, I'm seeing that sales data is there. So I believe this is something to do with respect to is it e-commerce or what? I'm not sure, but I hope you understood where I'm going, right? So what I during my preparation, what I felt was like if we take one domain, right, and we understand end to end how we can improvise and what are the scenarios we can pick up, I think we can nail down to the we'll have a good grip on the subject. And then, be it any other domain, be it like fintech to healthcare, if you're going, you just need to know what is the business inside that company, how they are doing. But on the top, once you understand, you have that information and the requirement understanding, you will be as an individual contributor, you will be able to pick it up and work. There is no stopping for you. There won't
Okay.
be any confusions. This is what I felt. I don't know how this will help, but I mean, how to approach on this thing to, uh, accomplish
Okay.
as an individual. So I
Okay.
was thinking
See,
like if someone can guide. Yeah.
yeah. I'll give you my thoughts and I'll let others talk also. And this will be the last question. Otherwise, we'll just wrap it up. Okay. So my thoughts are this: when I was maybe young like you, a few years ago, I used to think that domain knowledge matters a lot. Okay. And I did. I mean, in fact, when I was just even before I started working, I talked to my college senior. She said, "Yeah, stick to a domain." But I've changed so many companies. I've worked for so many different companies. I worked for insurance. I worked for mortgage. I worked for airlines. I worked for technology companies also, right? And for banking also. So I can tell you one thing that, from my experience, is my experience that um, as it doesn't matter much in the initial years of a career. Okay. Especially in the US. I mean, yeah. So what I've seen is, or even for that matter, even in India also, right? I mean, if you are applying for a company which is a GCC, Global Capability Center, for example, Bhumika recently, my student, right? She got into Sanofi. She's a Hyderabad-based company, but it is a US-based multinational. So yeah, so they would mention in the requirements that domain knowledge is a plus, right? In my company, they will say airline knowledge is a plus. So, but having said that, getting people with that specific domain knowledge is also difficult, right? Uh, Domain plus somebody who is really good in technical aspects as well is very difficult. So if they're coming across two candidates who are equally good in technical, one of them knows about domain, then obviously they'll go with the domain guy who knows domain as such. Okay. So in my view, I would just give 5% weightage to domain till I hit 12, 13 years of experience. Beyond that, when you're trying for leadership positions, yes, maybe, yeah, then it makes sense, because at that point of time, you're not hands-on as such. You're more into talking to the stakeholders, the leadership. At that point, yes, domain knowledge will definitely matter. And even I've seen a lot of senior leaders also, even CIOs, in fact, in the companies, they have also moved from one domain to another domain, right? So I've seen this happening also. So domain knowledge helps, I would say. 5% is what I would give weightage to, but that is me. But But yeah, so from the technical perspective, you won't really face any issues as such. But yes, when talking to stakeholders, even if you, let's say, today you're working for a finance company and tomorrow you do get a finance company where you're working as a data engineer, maybe, yeah, it may help some domain knowledge, but who knows that you may end up in the same division because companies are big, they have a lot of divisions. There is no guarantee you'll end up in the same division as such. So the overlap may be very less as such, right? This is what my thought process is, but I would just let others speak here. Okay, and this is the last question. I'll end after this. Yeah, go ahead. Anybody else who kind of add your experience here?
Pankaj, how many years of experience are you showing in your CV?
So I'm showing in this data engineering as 5 years and total experience as 7 years.
So what happens is, whatever company you're working for, they want to know, first of all, they will ask you end to end about the project. Where is the source? What do you do? How does it come? What is the SLA? So many things they will ask about the source and the technical aspect they will ask. Now, suppose you are saying that you are in any, you say in a hospital or a hospitality or a finance or you are saying a credit card company. So they know how it works. But from you in your company, they want to know step by step. So they will probe you more of technical also. Like how does it move? What happens if the data doesn't come? Or do you have a SLA for that? So all those things they will ask. Once you get the data, how you do the transformation? What are the issues? What are the difficulties you have faced? And how did you solve it? And did you face any production issues? Did they call you? So all those things they will ask, and then it moves to so you would need to know so whichever domain you're telling, you need to know end to end about your project by heart, where it comes, how it comes, this, that. They can ask you any questions about, and they can ask you also some stupid question like what type of syntax you did, why didn't you try this, why didn't you try that? We don't know anything. But domain knowledge is important because you're showing 5 years. So 5 years you will know what the company does, isn't it? If you're showing suppose 1 year only in the current company, okay, you don't know. But anything you say, whatever domain you ask, whatever, I don't know what you're going to show in your CV, be thorough with it. If you feel finance, you're there and you can show credit card, you can show anything in banking, you can show. So you should be very much, domain knowledge is somewhat required because now you're moving higher. See, suppose it was 2-3 years, okay, you should know technical. Abhi to, now you'll move to a next senior position, na? So you should know about it and how much value addition you can do with it. That's what is expected in the interview. That is my thought process. And I also am working on that also. Yeah, that is there. Anybody else,
Yeah.
if you all want to pitch
So
in, you all can tell in.
Yeah,
I
I
just
want
want to touch here one thing. Uh, so yeah, please go ahead. I'll bring this other end. Why I'm asking this is because I faced during the interviews. But I'll cover this at the end. Please go ahead. Who was talking? Please share
Yeah,
your knowledge.
this is Amol.
Yeah,
I
Amal.
feel the other way around. In this case, we need to focus about the industry. If you are working for any captive, yes, of course, the domain knowledge is equally important to the technologies. That's what I feel, because you will solve the problem which is along with that domain by using technologies. Technologies may change, but whatever the domain that captive is working, it is not changed. So it will give you added advantage. Whereas if we are talking about the service industry, yeah, it is technology taking age because the projects are changing rapidly. Most of the time, there are multiple projects we were working on. We don't need to be master in the domain what we can think. Yeah, it is needed to do your job faster, and we can say in better way. It is important to know it, but technology advantage is more. That's what I feel from my experience.
Thank you, Amol. Thank you. All right, awesome. Yes, I will be recording this and I'll upload this recording into the LMS for sure. Okay. Awesome, folks. Thank you so much for joining today. I think it was a very good discussion. I'm sure you all have had some insights. Sita, Nagendra, Naga, you guys have been silent. Sudhakar, anything you want to share before we end the call? Any questions you have which I can help with?
Yes, Sachin, so what is that new courses you are right? It will start
Yeah,
in Jan.
yeah. So this course that you are currently in, that this is end-to-end AWS based only. It doesn't cover data modeling, it doesn't cover data warehousing, it doesn't cover data lakehouse, it doesn't cover Spark, everything. So if you want to become
Yeah.
an end-to-end cloud data engineer, yes, that there are a lot more things you got to learn, and I'm going to be launching a new program next year, which is going to be a high-ticket one. It won't be. It'll be completely different with real-world projects as such, and it'll be probably in the month of March, April or so. I'm still building the
Oh,
things. Recording is going on. And I need to also create a lot of documents. The quality will be a lot more better. Multiple times of what you have already seen so far. Okay.
okay. What about existing your students?
You will get
Any
access to the silver. There'll be two layers, silver and diamond membership. Silver will be a 1 month AWS course. You will get access to that live course. You will get access to that, and after that you can upgrade to the diamond membership later.
okay, okay.
Okay. All right. Any other question, folks? Sita and anybody else? All right. All right, folks.
So
Thank you
I'll
so. Yeah.
be interested in the diamond one.
Absolutely.
Right, Sachin. Yeah. So yeah, I think even other existing members they had shown during the course.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we'll be hoping soon for that.
Yes.
And what I like here, right, like someone was asking about architecture. I just wanted to bring this. When I was preparing for interview, I was actually going through the recordings of the hands-on from the previous batches. There were some questions. Some people were asking about their projects and at some times. So maybe that helps actually to catch up some scenarios and bring it in your experience, and maybe you can correlate to your project and you prepare that way. So
100%, right?
that will help.
And these discussions actually help you a lot, right? So what I share is my thought, my perspective of my experience of what I've gone through. But Hema here, Amol here, they have all rich experience, right? Even Pankaj, you as well. So and Nihar here. So uh, there's this we have collective experience here which we can discuss, and then it just adds on to our own what's the right word? Uh, Knowledge, I would say, builds onto our knowledge, and which I'm sure it'll help one day when we have that question being asked to us in the interview. Right. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, folks. Talk to you soon. If you have any questions, feel reach out in the group, and then I'll have another session like this next week, probably. All right.
Thanks a lot, Sachin. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks a lot,
Bye.
Sachin.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Sachin.
Thanks
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.